I don't know what metaphor you use to describe life or understand life. Some of us say life is like a race that we're trying to win. For a while, we all thought life was like a box of chocolates. But for me, the metaphor I like best is a cup. Life is this cup that we've put a line on, and we've labeled that line good. And we spend a lot of our time and a lot of our day trying to fill that cup up to that line so that at the end of the day we can say we live the good life. And we'll go all over the place all day long looking for the things that are going to get us there. It's not unlike going down to a little creek or river and filling up the cup and then going about your business because you've got a full cup. The things we fill it with, though, are like power and sex and money and belongings and all of those things that we just kind of naturally think are going to make us feel better. What we don't realize, though, is that that cup we've brought down to the river is faulty. It has a hole in it. And so just as quickly as we filled it, by the time we walk away, it's quickly emptied out. And so then it's turn around and go back and empty and turn around and go back and empty and turn around and go back and empty. And that's what can make us feel like life is so exhausting, because the things we thought were filling our cup are not filling our cup. Because we weren't looking for those things in the first place. Those were means to an end we were hoping for that we maybe weren't conscious of, but we were hoping for things like love and joy and peace and kindness and goodness and forgiveness and healing, purpose and meaning. And so the question becomes, what is the problem? Is the problem our cup? Do we need to just throw it out and get a whole new one that doesn't have a hole in it? Or is it something bigger? I would say, is it something better? What if we change the source and the way by which we fill our cup? And I think that was the message that Jesus brought us. He came and said things like, I came to give you life, but not just life, life to the fullest. In fact, some translations would say, I came to give you life abundantly. In other words, not just life to the line, but life past the line. More than you need, better than you thought. You're just going to the wrong source. And so Jesus begins to make the argument, if you were to follow me, if you were to seek the kingdom first, if you were to make your life about coming from me, everything would change. In fact, one of Paul's letters was written to a bunch of Christians in a town called Corinth. And he put it this way, in 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 8, he said, and God will generously provide all you need. Then you will always have everything you need and plenty left over to share with others. Not just life, but life to the fullest, life overflowing, more than we need. And what's amazing is that gives us the ability to then share with other people, which is meaning for us. When we become a means to an end, we have meaning. And so now we're getting to bless others with the things that they're looking to fill their cup with, because we have more than we thought we needed in the beginning. It's more than we could imagine, is what Paul says, more than you could ask or think. And the reason he says that is because everything that we can imagine or think of is always relative to our cup. It's the container we have. It's the lid on our life. It's what we think we're most capable of. And Paul says, when you put your hope in Jesus, when you put your hope in God and you make him the source of the good in your life, he can take you beyond the scale that you've been measuring things by. But how do we do that? How do we make God our source? And it's maybe simpler than we think, because it's not about us going and finding. The scriptures tell us, and Jesus told us over and over again, that he's with us always. It was one of the last things Jesus said before he went to heaven to be with the Heavenly Father. He said, I'm with you always. You don't have to go find me. I'm not hiding somewhere. My presence is always available to you. If you just turn and realize it's there, if you just immerse yourself in it, I will give you the life abundant. And God's been saying that from way back when, even before Jesus. This is what God said through the prophet Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 23. God says, am I a God who is only close at hand? No, I'm far away at the same time. Can anyone hide from me in a secret place? Am I not everywhere in all the heavens and earth? The idea is that no matter where you go, no matter how far you run or how well you try and hide, God is there. His presence is always available to us. And so that life that Jesus promised is always available to us if we go to Him for it, if we immerse ourselves in it. And so what if it looks something like this? It's not go get a new cup with no hole in it. We're human, we're always flawed. It's always going to have a hole. But what if instead we just immerse the cup in the source of life all of the time? Because then it's not just full, it's fully full. It's beyond its capacity, but it's never emptying out because it's never taken out of the presence of God. What if we lived every day that way? What if when we came to things like needing rest and peace and wholeness and belonging and purpose, we just put ourselves again, we reminded ourselves again that we're already in the presence of God, and we just stayed there? I really believe with all of my heart that we would find the things we want most in life, we find in abundance, abundantly more so, in God as our source than anywhere else. Here's what's so cool. The word presence that we have in our English language and what we find in our English Bibles comes from a Hebrew word for face. So every time we read about God's presence, we're reading about His face looking at us, being face to face with God, which anytime I see someone's face, there's no doubt about the fact that I am with them. God is with us and His face shines on us. So what we're changing is we're moving from taking a cup with a hole in it, trying to fill it up over and over again, only for it to leak out, the looking for the good life. And we're changing it to being looked upon by the giver of life and simply sitting in His presence, simply sitting in His gaze upon us. Everything that we're looking for and hoping for in life is found in abundance in God's presence, in the gaze of His face. So it's not just good, it's abundant good. It's not just peace, it's abundant peace. It's not just grace, it's abundant grace. It's abundant purpose, it's abundant belonging. It's abundantly more than we could ever hope or dream for. It would be like taking that cup with the hole in it, pushing it down deep into a river, and understanding that the water from the river never ceases. It's in abundance. You'll never find the end of it, and just holding the cup, overflowing constantly in life. That is what God offers us. I love this priestly prayer that's been given over so many people for so long. You find it in Numbers chapter 6, and it goes like this. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you His favor and give you His peace. Some translations read, may the Lord make His face shine upon you. In other words, may He be present to you at all times so that you can live life abundantly.